Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Monday, July the 25th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, let's get to how overseas markets finished last week. Wall Street ending the week higher despite US stocks closing lower on Friday. Disappointing earnings results from Snap spooked investors with shares in social media and ad tech firms dropping, offsetting gains from car dealership American Express following an upbeat forecast. Stocks specifically, Pinterest plunging more than 11% and Facebook owner Meta dropping more than 5.5%, while Google owner Alphabet, which also sells ads online, fell over 3%. At current prices, Pinterest, Meta, Twitter, Alphabet and Snap were collectively set to lose about $42 billion in market value. Twitter also blaming its ongoing battle to close its $44 billion acquisition by Elon Musk for the surprise fall in quarterly revenue. And the micro-blogging site shares down in choppy trading. You can see there, Snap off close to 40%. American Express quarterly card spending soared to a record as pandemic-weary travellers shrugged off rising airfares to throng airports, helping the company raise its annual revenue forecast and sending its shares 5% higher initially. The credit card giant joining major US banks, including JP Morgan Chase, highlighting the resilience of consumer spending in the face of uncertain economic outlook. Well, Ukraine is set to restart grain exports from its Black Sea ports under a deal aimed at easing global food shortages. But it warned deliveries would suffer if a Russian missile strike on Odessa was a sign of more to come. Around $10 billion worth of grain will be available for sale, with roughly 20 million tonnes of last year's harvest that can now be exported. In US economic data, the US services PMI falling to a 26-month low of 47 in July, from 51.6 the previous month, with a reading below 50 indicating contraction as inflation affects sales. The manufacturing flash PMI sliding to 52.3 from 52.7 in June, which was the weakest level in 2 years, with new orders falling while production levels were unchanged. US Treasury yields eased following those business activity readings, the 10-year down to 2.75%, the lowest level since May, while the 2-year yield has fallen below 3%. Major currencies were firmer against the US dollar, the Aussie currently sitting at 69.1. The local share market is set to open the week marginally lower. ASX futures currently off close to 0.1%, with tech stocks the focus after weak earnings results in the States saw a sell-off in that sector. Global oil prices have eased following adjustments to sanctions on Russia. Payments related to purchases of Russian seaborne crude oil by EU companies will not be banned, allowing Russian state-owned companies Rosneft and Gazprom to ship oil to intermediary countries. And the price of Brent falling to $103 a barrel. The iron ore futures price rose just over 1% to $104 a tonne, while base metal prices were mostly higher, with nickel rallying over the past week. Gold futures rising 0.8%. And the crypto market was relatively stable over the weekend, Bitcoin trading just under 23,000 US. Looking at the data docket this week, the kicks off on Monday with the release of the quarterly CommSec State of the States report. Tuesday, ANZ and Roy Morgan released the weekly consumer confidence survey. Before a bulky second half of the week, we get the latest inflation read on Wednesday, the consumer price index for the June quarter, with the annual rate forecast to rise to 6.2%. They also get retail sales figures. Thursday, Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers hands down the ministerial economic statement to Parliament, giving an update on the federal budget. And earnings season gathers pace this week. Today, South 32 reports. And looking at the overseas data docket, New Zealand business and consumer confidence out today, plus key manufacturing and housing data in the US. Ahead of the big focus this week, the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision on Wednesday, with a 75 basis point hike expected. Also Wednesday, China's industrial profits, and continuing the data in the US on Thursday, second quarter GDP. And rounding out the week on Friday with June personal income and spending data is issued. Investors will be most interested in a key inflation result, the core PCE deflator, which is expected to lift by 0.5%. That is your day ahead. See you again tomorrow.